Good evening, everyone. Welcome to King Dolphin TV. As a public service announcement, before we go on with the stream, this is just to let you know that there will probably be cadets watching in the chat. So we do encourage family-friendly interactions. I'm Raymond, the author of the Dolphin Wars series of books. I am pleased to be here for a special night. Before we get started, let me welcome the ones who keep this channel going, you chat guys. Welcome to Snorter Poopus Q Burr. How are you doing, sir? John Randall, how goes it? Legatus Legionai, the very first one by, about 6 days or 3 days when I set up the chat. Bionic Belly Button. You're probably lurking, but welcome aboard. This is a very exciting and special chat. As a background for the episode, for this chat, I listened about a couple months ago to an episode of the Fighter Pilot podcast, and they talked about Civil Air Patrol. I decided, because they were in California, I decided to bring this close to home, and I wanted to talk to Cap about Cap. As you know, or may not know, CAP was formed on December 1st, 1941, which were days before Pearl Harbor. This agency later evolved after World War II, into the Air Force's Auxiliary. For 80 years, CAP has been serving America with its 3 missions. So to help me tell CAP's story, I have 2 distinguished guests. Let's please give a King Dolphin welcome to Lieutenant Colonel Richard Judy, the Vice Commander of the West Virginia Civil Air Patrol Wing, and Cadet Major Esther Macias, the recent Cadet Commander of the Martinsburg Squadron in West Virginia. If you have not already done so, please like and subscribe to show YouTube that you love what we're doing here at King Dolphin TV. I will also have an announcement at the end of this stream. Because of the nature of this interview, please hold off on questions until we get to the end. So, Colonel Judy, Major Macias, welcome aboard. Thank you both for coming.
Oh, thank you, Raymond, for having us. This is a great honor, and glad to be part of the channel and telling CAP story this evening.
All right, so I'm going to alternate questions. I'm going outside of format, so I'm going to alternate questions between the 2 of you to make it more interactive. So, Colonel Judy, please tell us a little bit about yourself and.
Okay, so I joined CAP 29 years ago. I had just moved to the Morgantown area, and I didn't know very many people. The person that him and I had become fast friends because he moved to Morgantown about the same time that I did, and we were in the same school, both very interested in aviation. He said, hey, let's go check out these Civil Air Patrol people. I'm like, what is Civil Air Patrol? And so he kind of explained it to me and talked. We went to a meeting that night. The cadets were practicing some ground team maneuvers and some ground team search and rescue skills. The seniors were having a finance committee meeting, if I remember correctly, and also, trying to take care of the monthly paperwork, which I think is a staple in all agencies. And, as the vice commander, I'm, getting a very good education into what it takes to make an organization like this run. But we came across that meeting, stayed for the full 2.5 hours. Our parents came, picked us up, and I wasn't real sure. I had a lot of misconceptions about Civil Air Patrol just from that one meeting. And there were lots of questions in my head that I couldn't really get answered. So my friend, he was, ready and raring to go. So he went ahead and joined. And after a couple months, he says, hey, Rich, why don't you come on back to Civil Air Patrol and give it another shot? And I said, okay, I'll give it another shot. So I did. We had a brand new commander at the time and a brand new cadet commander, and they were eager to invite new people in and answer all their questions. So I got my questions answered, signed up on the spot, and 29 years later, here I am. It's been quite a ride. I've learned so much through Civil Air Patrol. I got a lot out of Civil Air Patrol and given a lot back to not only my fellow West Virginians, but also to the community at large, and then nationwide. I've helped with 4 different major national events that have been done by Civil Air Patrol, and it's been very rewarding. Was able to actually further my career within Civil Air Patrol outside of CAP. I'm an IT project manager, and have been able to not only take skills from Civil Air Patrol and combine them and use them in my day-to-day life, but also bring skills from my real life, we'll say, into Civil Air Patrol and to help out the organization. So again, it's a win-win for everybody. This is such a great organization. I love talking about it. And, I'm sure if Raymond let me go, I'd just go all night, but I'll go ahead and stop here and give Cadet Macias a chance to talk and say howdy.
All right. And Major Macias, can you tell us about yourself and what do you do before CAP?
Okay. So my name is Cadet Major Esther Macias. I joined CAP, I believe it was July of 2017. Similar to the Colonel's story, I had just moved here from Colorado. And so I just kind of found CAP as an interesting activity. At the time, I wanted to work for NASA. So this was the first aviation program that I saw, and I just kind of jumped on board with it. I absolutely love the program. I've learned so much. I've been able to use all the lessons that I've learned here in my life at school and my sports and everything like that. I was the Martinsburg Cadet Commander for about 1.5 years, and through that have learned so much about administration work, about communication, about delegation, about leading by example. Just so many amazing lessons that I don't believe I would have learned anywhere else.
Thank you. Very good. It's nice to hear that your enthusiasm. Colonel Judy, you've already told us how long you've been in CAP, obviously as a cadet. What else? And you've told us what has interested you in the program. What can you tell us overall about what CAP is and what is its missions?
So, and believe it or not, I was actually a cadet for about 6 years, and then when I started college, I went ahead and moved into the senior member ranks, and have advanced through the ranks to the Civil Air Patrol honorary rank of Lieutenant Colonel. I can go no higher unless I become a wing commander or some other national position, which not quite sure if I want to take on that responsibility yet, because that's a lot of responsibility, but I'm sure my time will come. But Civil Air Patrol is chartered by Congress in 3 main missions. It is emergency services, aerospace education, and the cadet program. And those all 3, are commingled into everything that Civil Air Patrol does. We're probably best known for the emergency services aspect of Civil Air Patrol. We perform 89% of all inland search and rescue for the Air Force out of the Air Force Rescue Coordination Center down at Tyndall in Florida. If an airplane crashes or, there's an overdue air crash, something along those lines, we are actually activated by the Air Force, to go and do this, searching If there's if there's just an ELT out there that an airliner heard, we will definitely be dispatched on that as well to go see if there's any trouble. And then the cadet program, like I said, I was a cadet for about 6 years. I know Cadet Macias is, also, embarking on the cadet program. It is for any young person between the ages of 12 and 18. And they come in and they get so much out of the program, it's not even funny. They get leadership experience. They get help with their schoolwork if they need it. They get leadership experience. It's just such a great program. And if they, progress in the program, in the cadet program, up to the General Billy Mitchell Award, which is kind of the first major award in the cadet program, all of the different branches of the military recognize that, and they will go in with a 2-step bump before they even step foot on a military installation. So instead of going in as an E0, you'll go in as an E3, and you will have advanced, pick of classes, pick of what you want to do in the military, and also advanced pay. So it's really a great deal. All of the service academies, the Air Force Academy, West Point, so on and so forth, they just love Civil Air Patrol cadets. I think it's about 70% of cadets at the Air Force Academy were or currently are Civil Air Patrol cadets. So it's a really great organization, looked on favorably by any branch of the military. But don't be alarmed by that, because there is absolutely no requirement to join the military. If you come into the cadet program, that's one thing that I had a big question about when I first joined. It's like, do I really have to go into the military if I'm in Civil Air Patrol? And the answer is no. You can serve Civil Air Patrol all your life and never step foot on a military installation if you want to. So again, really, really great program, great organization. Aerospace Education is our last one. We have an internal program and an external program just to, teach people about, air and space. And I think they're lumping STEM in with that as well. So if you're looking for a program that, has great role models, can help them out with anything that they need to in life, and get some up in the air a little bit for free, that Civil Air Patrol can do that and more.
Well, that's fantastic. It is a great program, as it sounds, and sounds like it's important for not only America but for the youth of our country, to raise them to be good leaders and great people.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, this is such a broad organization that you can experience just about any kind of career field that you want to. We have doctors, we have lawyers, we have professional airplane mechanics, professional pilots, air traffic controllers, engineers, mathematicians, any career field that you want to talk about. As you're going through those formative years and trying to decide what you want to do when you grow up, you can experience that, in Civil Air Patrol.
Okay. And Sandra just put into the chat, nurses, of course.
Well, of course.
Yes. Cadet Macias, what do you like about the cadet program?
Definitely. So I think CAP, like the Colonel was saying, is an absolutely phenomenal program. As I said previously, it has helped me grow as a person, as a citizen. A few things I've been able to learn in the CAP program are things about leadership, discipline, delegation, search and rescue, respect, drill and ceremonies, survival skills, and those were just the few things I could think off the top of my head. One thing in specific that I always think of, or that I tell people about when I talk about CAP, is I like most about the program is the ability to learn in every environment, whether it's just a meeting, a camp, an activity, orientation flights, like everything and anything that has to do with CAP, we learn so much. And you're not only learning from the student members that are there to help, but from your fellow cadets who are either higher or lower ranked that are willing to share their information and their knowledge that they've had. So absolutely a phenomenal program that I couldn't do without. I know that for sure.
Good. It sounds like it's definitely left an impression on you that you want to go further on in life. Now, you mentioned some of the things that that leads to my next question. What have you done as a cadet? And you've mentioned some of them. Just can you go into a little bit more detail?
Yes, sir. So as a cadet, I've been in CAP since 2017. So I'm going on my 5th year. I have done color guard for parades and school functions. I have flown in all types of aircraft, from our Cessna 14s to Black Hawk to I had a glider orientation flight as well. I've built and competitively flown rockets for Team American Rocketry Challenge. I have done honor guard. I have done ground team. I joined the Region's Cadet Advisory Council this term. I've done local activities. I've done encampment. I've done leadership schools. Just everything and anything that CAP wanted to offer me, I definitely took advantage of and signed up right away.
Okay, sounds like definitely you've got good head on your shoulders, and you've got an idea as to what you want to do and how you want to go via CAP.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Colonel Judy, what are you currently doing in CAP outside of what you've already told us? You told us you're the Vice Wing Commander of West Virginia's wing. Can you tell us about how CAP is organized?
Yeah. So each state, and of course there's 52 states or 52 wings, only 50 states, and each state is a wing. So we are the West Virginia wing of Civil Air Patrol. There's the, Virginia wing, the North Carolina wing, so on and so forth. So every wing, has the commander, which is the wing commander. They are the CAP rank of colonel. And currently, Colonel Connie Moody is our wing commander, and she's a great wing commander. And basically, each wing also has one, maybe two vice commanders. And, in West Virginia, I am the vice commander. So if anything were to happen to our wing commander, I would step in and, take over operations of the wing. Which, we don't want anything to happen to Colonel Moody because, she does a great job, and I'm not sure I could fill her shoes. So, but as the vice commander, I am also in charge of all the squadrons. So in West Virginia, we have 14 squadrons, and I have 14 direct reports, and those are the squadron commanders. And the squadron is kind of the lowest level of Civil Air Patrol. That is each municipality or, a group of individuals that want to get together and, have a Civil Air Patrol unit or a squadron. They can do such. There's 3 types of squadrons. There are cadet squadrons, which are mainly focused on the cadet program and, just have a few seniors there to make sure the cadets don't fall down and kill themselves. There are senior squadrons, which are focused on the senior member program of Civil Air Patrol. Mostly around flying, around, getting the senior leadership skills, honed in and, trying to, position themselves in the community to be known as a first responder agency. And then there's the Composite Squadron, which takes, elements of the cadet program, elements of the senior program, puts it together into one squadron. all of the squadrons in West Virginia are composite squadrons. So we have not only the cadet program, but we also have the senior member program. In fact, last year we just stood up a brand new, online university for all Civil Air Patrol members called Volunteer University. And it is in its infancy, but there is plans, a little ways down the road to actually offer college credit for some of these very advanced leadership classes that we as senior members are required to take. Again, I can only see that, going forward and, blossoming into a real draw for the seniors in Civil Air Patrol. There's lots of opportunities for the cadets. The seniors, we have a little bit less opportunity, but, just getting to mentor all of these cadets that come through the program, even if they don't stay for, a year or so, I see cadets that have went through the Morgantown Squadron. I live in Morgantown, West Virginia, so I'm part of the Morgantown Squadron. I was the Morgantown Squadron commander for 4 years, and there has been cadets that will stop me, as I'm going through Kroger's or Walmart and saying, "Oh, hey, Colonel Judy, how are you doing?" And I hopefully will remember them and, I can give them a friendly greeting. And the thing about Civil Air Patrol is that you can come in and go out as you want. There's no requirement to serve, any length of time. So if you want to stay for a year and then, something happens and you come back to Civil Air Patrol 4 years later, you can do that. Very dynamic organization like that. So this is, like I said, again, this is one of the premier organizations. Our tagline used to be America's Best Kept Secret. I hate that tagline because we have so much to offer, not only the youth, but also the seniors of our communities where we reside. So, Raymond, I think that's, a very long-winded answer to what seems like a very simple question.
Oh, it was great. It was great. You mentioned Major Macias. You mentioned that you were doing some emergency services stuff. What all can cadets do in the emergency services mission?
Yeah, so emergency services, as the Colonel had also mentioned, is a way that cadets can give back to the community. It is personally my favorite part of CAP and one of my number one motivators for being in CAP. So once a cadet joins the program and takes the qualifications to become a ground team member, they are then activated whenever a ground team is activated in their area. So, for example, the Martinsburg Squadron doesn't have a ground team in and of itself, but we can be activated by other squadrons to go and help them. So some missions that I have been around when they're happening are missing personnel, down aircraft. We were also activated one time to help during a natural disaster, to help the Red Cross and Salvation Army and organizations like that give supplies to the community when it's needed. Ground team also, it's a way that cadets can give back to the community while they're learning skills about survival themselves. So I absolutely love that dynamic of getting two different learning experiences at the same time. And it's just an amazing way to serve as well as to learn and intake and learn how to be able to survive if need be.
Good, great. Sounds like you're definitely making an impact. What missions has you mentioned a lot about search and rescue, Colonel Judy. You mentioned a lot about search and rescue. What missions has CAP overall and West Virginia Wing in particular have done? If you could talk about it and not violate OPSEC.
Right. Yeah, no problem. This is, again, probably what we're best known for. Any kind of an airplane, overdue aircraft, aircraft accident, so on and so forth. We do provide crash site security before the FAA and the NTSB get there, to preserve that crash site so that they can figure out, exactly what happened and hopefully prevent it from happening again. If anybody remembers the floods of 2016, Civil Air Patrol was heavily involved in that. We did lots of aerial reconnaissance and aerial picture taking. I think we flew over 300 flight hours for that mission. And again, just to kind of bring it back to the volunteerism, of course, we volunteer, we take time off work, so on and so forth. One Black Hawk by the Army, provided by the Army with pilots and everything, costs approximately $5,000 per flight hour to operate, give or take. Our, Cessna 172s and 182 aircraft, they cost in the neighborhood of $150 per flight hour. So basically, our total bill for the for that whole event was about, I think it was somewhere in the neighborhood of $8,000 or $10,000, and we got, like I said, about 300 flight hours in. We took over 7,000 pictures, and a lot of our pictures that we took were, of course, handed off to the National Guard. They were the lead agency, the West Virginia National Guard. And those pictures were actually used to brief the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And they came from us. We have special cameras that, have a GPS chip in them that will allow us to impregnate those GPS coordinates right in the picture file. So it's, really nice when they go and say, okay, this picture was taken at this point, so that they can go out and actually, hone in where they need to go to provide the most relief, not just kind of going and trying to figure it out once they're on the ground. When they have this intelligence, they can actually go ahead and pinpoint their response and get the most equipment there that's needed at any one time. Any major event on a national scale that you've seen Civil Air Patrol as a part in. The oil spill down in the Gulf a couple of years ago. CAP again flew between 300 and 500 flight hours. Any kind of natural disaster that happens, hurricanes, blizzards, wildfires out west, anything that is a natural disaster and they need our skills, or an aerial photographer, aerial platform. We have FLIR capabilities. There's lots of things that Civil Air Patrol does that a lot of people don't know about, and I'm sure I'm missing a few. But again, a very diverse organization. We do help train not only our own cadets, but also Air Force cadets and people, enlisted personnel that would like to become officers and flying officers. It's really great organization. We provide that to the Air Force at a very reasonable cost, because again, we are all volunteers. We do get reimbursed for our expenses, but expenses don't count, what you would have made if you were at work or something like that. So, but that's it in a nutshell. In fact, I know the big hurricane in Texas the last time, the person giving the reports to the media was actually a Civil Air Patrol officer. She had her uniform on, and she was a great public speaker. So again, whatever you want to do in Civil Air Patrol, you can do it. And if you want to help out, not only your local organization, but also the nation as a whole, you can do that. Check.
I'm sorry. I understand that CAP supports the Boy Scout Jamborees. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I can tell you a lot about that, actually. I was one of the leaders for Civil Air Patrol, and anytime the Boy Scouts have either a national jamboree or a world jamboree down in southern West Virginia, we also support that and with aerial reconnaissance and picture taking. That's kind of what Civil Air Patrol is moving into being known for, is providing great aerial photographer. We also do a full motion video from the airplane through the DART system. If there's any Army folks in the audience, we know exactly, you know exactly what the DART system is. And the Air Force and the Army, again, were so impressed and that they actually used our video and our still photography, again, to brief not only the Joint Chiefs of Staff, but the President also.
Nice. I bet they really appreciate seeing the small Cessnas going over the Jamboree.
Oh, yeah. In fact, 2 years ago for the National Jamboree, it was being commanded by a two-star admiral from the Navy. And I was giving the Civil Air Patrol brief because it was my time on station. And, so I give the brief and I say, Admiral, this is what Civil Air Patrol did. And he just kind of looks at me and he says, "You're not in the military, are you, son?" And I said, "No, sir, I'm a volunteer civilian." He says, "Well, could have fooled me," and on he went. So, I heard afterwards that that was quite a compliment from that particular admiral. So,
wow, that's impressive. That's very impressive. Cadet Macias, what are your goals for CAP and in the future? I know you mentioned that you want to go into NASA. Are there any other goals?
Yes, sir. So definitely for CAP, my main focus right now is to actually finish the program. So as a major right now, I'm at achievement 15, and I have about 4 or 5 more achievements before I actually finish the program in its entirety. And my goal is actually to finish the program before I turn 17. That's just been a goal of mine since I joined. I'm very motivated to get as much out of the program as I can. I also want to become a ground team leader, which I'm eligible to become as soon as I turn 18. Another goal is to attend as many CAP functions, nationally as I can, just to get as much out of CAP as I can. Another one is to get my pilot's license through CAP, which I know is a program that we offer, which I know is a huge incentive for a lot of cadets to join as well. I'm actually heading more into the unmanned aerial surveillance aspect of aviation. So CAP is actually starting to branch out to that as well. And another goal of mine is to be able to fly drones for CAP. I guess an overall round goal of mine is to be able to get everything that I've learned through CAP and be able to teach it back to my fellow cadets back at home squadron or any squadron that I'm given a position to speak at. Just because I know sometimes throughout the program we get what we call ruts where we don't get motivated or just life happens or we lose our motivation. But I know, having gone this far in the program, that with amazing senior members that we have, with amazing opportunities that CAP offers, continuing the program and trying to go as far as you can will not only get you the good resume in the future, but also it'll teach you that discipline to continue and to finish what you start. as for the future, I've kind of shifted my gaze, like I said, from NASA into unmanned surveillance. And I hope to actually be a fighter drone pilot for the Air Force once I get out of college. I'm hoping to go through college on an ROTC program. I want to major in unmanned aviation and minor in business. That's just kind of, it's two areas that I've always been very, very interested in. And now through CAP, I've had such an open window to be able to explore the aviation part. And I'm really excited and motivated to do that.
What more can I say? But wow, what a fast burner. You've got your roadmap all set up for you. That's great. It's rare to hear in a teenager. And you've got it. You've got it down pat. Colonel Judy, here are two questions that are gonna tie together.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. What are the incentives if you are a pilot, and can you get a pilot's license in CAP?
Okay, so I'll start with the second one first. So can you get a pilot's license in Civil Air Patrol? Short answer is if you're a cadet, yes. We will, we have different programs and different instructors that will take you from 0 time all the way to your private pilot license, which is the first license that you would get. Then if you want to go into advanced training, you can certainly do that. Unfortunately, if you're a senior member, then you cannot get your initial pilot's license through Civil Air Patrol. You need to come into the program. If you want to fly, you need to come into the program with your pilot's license, already in hand, or, you're working on it, either one. But after you come into the program, you can use our aircraft to get any additional licenses. So if you want to get your instrument rating, your commercial pilot's license, so on and so forth, you can do that through Civil Air Patrol. And some of the things that, just I have been able to, garner with Civil Air Patrol is, probably the most notable is the Garmin G1000 system. It's basically 2 TV screens that take the place of all the old, clock and dial and steam gauges that were in the aircraft of years past, and, kind of put them onto a couple of TV screens. And, that's where setting up for the future. I was able to actually get all of my G1000 training and get certified in the G1000 system for 0 cost. If I went to a flight school, traditional flight school, and did that, it would have cost many thousands of dollars. But Civil Air Patrol, afforded me that opportunity, and I definitely jumped on it. There are opportunities for, pilots to not only maintain their skills, but they can also introduce that next generation into aviation by giving the cadets orientation rides and teaching them a little bit about aviation and what goes into being a pilot. Those flights are about an hour, and each cadet gets 5 of them. And again, they're all free, provided for by the Air Force. They cannot be counted as flight instruction. But if you take those 5 flights and then go to a traditional flight school, you are going to be, head and shoulders above anybody else that is there, because you've already had basically your first 5 flight lessons through Civil Air Patrol. The only thing you didn't do is sit in the left seat and get signed off by an instructor pilot. So again, if you're just kind of out there, you're a couple 100-hour pilot or less, and you're tired of paying $300 or $400 to go flying for a couple hours at the local flight school, come check out Civil Air Patrol. We have aircraft that members can take up for proficiency purposes. Very, very few restrictions, just a couple. It's nothing, nothing major. And, then you can definitely go ahead and hone your skills in some of the most advanced aircraft out there. Right now in West Virginia, 4 of our 6 aircraft are the Garmin G1000 system. So, again, the lots of learning, lots of opportunity there. And, we, in fact, this year I got certified to pull gliders with the aircraft, and something that I, never thought I would do, but I thought, again, we'll take the opportunity that was provided to me. And I did, and just have a ball towing gliders. I know Cadet Macias was, in the glider when I was pulling it, and the glider instructor, he told me that she just had a ball of a time. So, again, it's great organization, and I want to give a little plug for the drone program. Civil Air Patrol is, into the drone program now. We have, I think, 4 drones in the state of West Virginia, and we're looking to increase that. So once we can, get a few more people certified, then we can start doing drone missions for not only the Air Force, but for Civil Air Patrol as well. Lots of opportunity for growth there. And the best part about it is Civil Air Patrol has said that cadets 12 to 18 can be drone pilots. So you will be the one actually, taking the drone and flying it around and seeing if you can, find that lost person or, whatever we would be looking at. So again, great direction for Civil Air Patrol to be headed. And, I know Cadet Macias, you had said that you would like to get in the drone program. So go ahead and get with me afterwards, and I'll get you some information.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And now for Cadet Macias, I'm going to tie in with the pilot question. Can cadets fly?
Yes,
And
sir.
I think
so as Colonel Judy said, we do have those orientation flights, as well as at encampment, which happens in the summer and in the winter. We're given Black Hawk helicopter rides by, depending on the wing and everything. But as far as I've heard, most encampments have those, and those are absolutely phenomenal. It was one of my favorite experiences out of the entire week of encampment. As the Colonel also said, we do have those glider flights, which I did love. He was a great pilot. I absolutely loved those glider flights. And as for being able to fly the aircraft itself, we do have certain steps in that progress. So with some extra training and stuff and endorsements, cadets can actually solo a flight themselves. I have not personally done this yet, but I do have a lot of friends who have. And, when you have that goal, CAP being able to give you those little tastes, little helps, little hints here and there, really keep on encouraging cadets to keep striving and to keep looking for those goals. I know sometimes as a cadet, as being younger, you see those goals that you have so far away and almost unreachable at times. But because of CAP, they give you those helpful little tastes of what that career could be, or what that life could be like, and it really does help motivate and encourage you. And our senior members are phenomenal throughout the wing in the program in its entirety. They really do try to make it their goal to help you achieve whatever you are going for. Personally, I've had so many senior members invest into my life through the program and personally that have just continued to help me strive. I mean, as you saw, Colonel Judy was willing to give me information afterwards, so they're willing to do everything for us, and I think that's a really strong aspect. They're amazing examples, amazing leaders. So
good. Now I'm going to ask the same question to each of you. So we'll start with Colonel Judy, and then follow up with you. If someone says to you, why CAP and why I should come to you, what would you tell
Wow. How much time do we have?
them?
No, I think I've articulated it enough. It's such a broad organization that if you have any kind of an interest, be it flying, search and rescue, drones, being a lawyer, being a doctor, being a nurse, being anything out there, you will be able to experience that in Civil Air Patrol. If you're looking for some leadership skills and a huge leadership laboratory to come and test those skills, again, come to Civil Air Patrol. We can provide you with 55,000 cases of to try your skills out on. We do have a national commander who's in charge of Civil Air Patrol, not only here in the U.S., but we also have overseas units. We have units in Germany. We have units in Japan. We have units in Puerto Rico. We have, units all over the world that, still fall under, the Civil Air Patrol umbrella that, is headquartered at Maxwell Air Force Base in Alabama. So this is, an amazing organization. Like I said, I've learned so much from it. It's given me things that, I probably never would have had the experience to do otherwise. West Virginia wing this year received a brand spanking new airplane from the factory out in Independence, Kansas. And myself and another member actually went to Kansas, toured the Cessna factory, which was really cool to see how airplanes are made. And then actually flew that airplane all the way back to West Virginia. Again, no cost to me, just a couple days off work. So again, it's a great organization. I would say that if you like young people, definitely this is where you need to be. If you have any kind of an inkling of an interest in aviation, again, we are going to allow you to experience all facets of aviation, facets that you didn't even know were there. So definitely, come check out Civil Air Patrol, and we will, if you show an interest, we will go ahead and take you by the hand and show you everything you want to learn and more.
Okay, thank you. Now your turn, Cadet Major Macias. What would you tell a cadet?
Wow.
Because that's going to be hard. That's going to be a hard sell.
Thankfully, I've actually been able to have this conversation before, so I'm well versed in this. But I wrote it down to concise it. So CAP is a program in which you continue to learn throughout the entirety of your time in the program. This program is also seen as very attractive on college, military academy, and employees for your resume. You don't have to be 100% interested in aviation to join or even aircrafts, but you do have to have a desire to learn, work, and serve your community, state, and nation. I do know that, I came in looking for, like I said earlier, a key into NASA. And as a teenager, as a child, my dreams and my aspirations fluctuated a lot, and now I'm into the drone program. But definitely CAP has kept me on this straight and narrow path where I am, I have come out of my shell. I have, learned, not only how do I lead, but how do I lead by example? And what does servant leadership look like? While I was cadet commander, the main thing that I would really try to drive into my staff was we don't just lead by example, which is a good thing to do, but we lead by serving the cadets that we're trying to teach and trying to bring up in the program. CAP has it opens so many doors. I mean, I have staff position leadership opportunities in every state. What other program is there that would give you that door to the entire nation and say, here, we're willing to teach you how to lead? I've been contacted for, during the pandemic, I was contacted to go to a regional leadership school. And that taught me so many things I've actually in turn used in school or in my college classes. And CAP they tell you that they care about you, not just you advancing in their program, but you advancing as a citizen, as a person. It's just, like I said earlier, I honestly, my senior members, the senior members for West Virginia have been absolutely phenomenal. I wouldn't be in the position that I am. I wouldn't be the person that I am today without them. They really, they just pour in heart and soul into you, and they are willing to go. I mean, you should ask my poor squadron commander and the cadet commander. I bother them every day with questions, asking for help. I know she's my squadron commander is always willing to answer. She has answered late at night. She has answered on holidays. You know, I think that it's absolutely phenomenal how much they're willing. I mean, sometimes teachers don't even answer as fast as my CAP leaders do. So I mean, it's just, why not join? Give me a reason not to, and I can give you 100 reasons too.
Oh, great. And then the final question before we open it up to the chat for both of you is, one, how does a senior member and how does a cadet join CAP? We'll start with Colonel Judy.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and take the senior member because, well, I'm a senior member. So, yeah, relatively easy, application process. Find a local unit. Go to gocivilairpatrol.com. Find your local unit, or just ask around at the airport. Or, you might see a flyer, at your local, grocery store or convenience store about Civil Air Patrol. But the fastest way is to go ahead and go and, gocivilairpatrol.com. Find your local unit. Talk to the squadron commander. Say, hey, I'm interested in Civil Air Patrol. They will tell you when they meet, where they meet, and all that good stuff. Then it is a Civil Air Patrol requirement, and I don't think anybody else has this requirement. Fairly unique to Civil Air Patrol, that you must attend 3 meetings before you even, think about applying to be a member. That is not only to make sure that, you understand what Civil Air Patrol is, but that we understand, your goals and your aspirations and what you're hoping to get out of Civil Air Patrol, so that we can tailor the program to you. If you don't want to deal with the cadets, that's fine. We can, turn you into other directions. So, not only does that help you, but it helps us. You'll meet with the squadron membership committee, and they will either recommend or deny you for membership. You'll go ahead and go get fingerprinted. That is to combat any undesirables that may want to come into the program. Anybody with a history of abuse or anything relating to child abuse, child pornography, anything like that, those folks are automatically disqualified from Civil Air Patrol membership. We want to protect not only our cadets, but our senior members as well. Then dues are $45 per year. You'll get a cool shirt like I have on right here. Got your name tag on it, and your wings over here if you're a pilot, and your name tag's over here. And you get to wear these cool shoulder boards. They say Civil Air Patrol on. They got mine's got a leaf on it because I'm a lieutenant colonel. And just kind of find your spot in Civil Air Patrol. Again, there'll be some training that you'll have to go through, and then wherever you want to go, we will go ahead and take you there. And yes, they are also called epaulets. Some people call them shoulder boards. Some people call them epaulets. So But yeah, relatively straightforward process. And there's a million different uniform combinations in Civil Air Patrol. This is the one that I pulled out of the closet this evening. There's also a golf shirt, that you can wear with just a pair of commercial gray slacks and some black shoes. So again, fairly easy process, but there are a few steps that you have to go through. And once you get through those and talk to the squadron commander, they should assign you a mentor that will help you kind of through those first months in Civil Air Patrol, get your feet under you, so to say, and make sure you complete all that required training, and then start in on whatever you want to do.
Great. Now for the cadet side, what do they got to do, Major Macias?
So to join CAP as a cadet,
Uh-oh.
I think we might have lost her.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, while we're waiting for her to come back, I'm going to welcome these. Yep, she's coming. Oh, there you go.
there she is. All right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
So as I was saying,
Joining.
to join, right? For 18 and under to join CAP to become a cadet, we ask that you show up to 3 meetings. And as the colonel said, that's kind of so that the senior members will be able to say, okay, what are your goals? What are your aspirations? What are you looking to get out of the program? And they kind of guide you, is this program for you? I definitely know by my second meeting, I was meeting with at the time, squadron commander, and he wrote down what I wanted to do. He wrote down what programs were offered. He wrote down, I think that this program is for you. This is what you're going to learn through it. This is the steps that we think you should take. And, I've been on that path going that way. That was one thing that really stood out to my parents as well when they were at the meeting. And they were like, you should definitely join. This looks like this is really going to help you out. And so I did join. After you attend those 3 meetings and you say, you know what, yeah, this is what I want to do. This is.
Uh-oh. West Virginia internet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you fine.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Parent.
Oh my gosh.
You're
Am I
fine.
back yet?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
fine.
I have to run through this quickly. It's rushing me. It gets sent to our squadron commander, who will then send it up to national. They'll approve it or disapprove it. They normally approve it though, and then after that, you're stuck with us until you feel like leaving. Is what I always tell our new cadets. Then, as Colonel Judy said, we do get super cool uniforms. This is personally my favorite uniform. These are ABUs. You get your patch based on your wing, as well as your squadron patch underneath your nameplate, and then your ranks as you progress through the program.
Great. Well, this is absolutely great. You guys are real troopers. Thank you. And now the fun part. We're going to open it up to the chat because I'm sure they've got questions galore. But before I do that, I'd like to welcome the latecomers who've come on board. Welcome to Wendy Webb, Julia Macias, Sprint 1, Stuart Mitchell, Sherry, son of a red shirt. I've got a question about that one. Matt G, and Canadian Spider-Man. For all you latecomers, as you know, I welcome everybody. So welcome aboard, and I hope you are enjoying this discussion and that you like and subscribe if you're really enjoying this. So now bring on your questions. And I know there's already a few. I just got to bring them up. And here is a kudo from Son of a Red Shirt. And
okay, I did not pay him off. I don't even know who he is. Son of Red Shirt, thank you. Wow, that's a very high compliment. I really appreciate it. And you need to put in the chat, but just email me and tell me where to send your $50.
Thank you very much.
Okay, I'm trying to find the one from Wendy Webb. Well, I can read it rather than post it. Wendy Webb, who is a retired Army flight nurse, wanted to know if there it is. Wendy Webb is a retired flight nurse in a helicopter assault squadron. She's curious if CAP has helicopters, or is it strictly airplanes and drones?
Strictly airplanes and drones for Civil Air Patrol. There was talk, at one time of incorporating helicopters, but helicopters cost, between 1.5 and 2 times, to operate than a traditional fixed wing Cessna. So again, we just don't partake in that. However, it's something that we may look to at a later time if national deems it to be a matter of interest. So yeah, good question. All right, come on, guys, bring them on.
Okay, Legatus Legion I. You may have already answered this question, but I think this is more into detail about drones.
Okay, so yeah, yes, there are different grades and levels and sizes and all that good stuff. We primarily operate in the under 55-pound, drone arena, and mostly we are using DJI drones. Although we've had a switch to a couple of different other drone makers. Just because of the restrictions with DJI, because they are a Chinese company, and the federal government has said that you can't use DJI drones on a government mission, which understand. Most of them do not require a different license. Once you get your SUAS certificate from the FAA, that allows you to fly, any kind of drone from what they call the micro drones, which are less than a pound, all the way up to, something that is fully, almost like an airplane, except it doesn't have a pilot on it, kind of like a Predator drone or something along those lines. So most of ours are quadcopters, and we do hold different training events, throughout the state. So hope that answered your question.
Good questions out there. This one, it's kind of humorous, but it does kind of relate with the overseas units. Could you did mention overseas units. Are there differences in how they operate?
Well, no, not really for the Civil Air Patrol units. Now, I know the Canadians, they do have a program akin to Civil Air Patrol. I can't remember what it's called right off the top of my head, but there is a program that is akin to Civil Air Patrol in Canada, and 2 or 3 times a year, the national leadership for both the U.S. Civil Air Patrol and the Canadian Civil Air Patrol do get together and talk. And I've interacted with some of those folks at different events, and it's really really cool to see people from our neighbors from the north, and see how they put the program into play.
Okay. Here's one from Legatus Legionii, and this would be a good one for Major Macias.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, so the minimum age is 12. You actually don't have to exit the cadet program until you're 21, but most orientation flies, glider flies programs are only available until you turn 18. So technically it's 21, but activity-wise it's 18, 12 to 18.
All right.
Great question, thank you.
Yes. John Rendo asks, and did Cat have a role in 9/11, in particular the 93 class, the Flight 93 crash?
We did have a role in 9/11. We provided lots of aerial reconnaissance and, lots of picture taking. Particularly, specifically with the Flight 93 crash, I'm not exactly sure, if Civil Air Patrol in the Pennsylvania wing, took part, in that investigation and unfortunate, accident. I would have to do a little research and figure that out. But yes, we did have a role in 9/11. We still do provide, training for, if you're flying into the Washington, D.C. or New York areas and, you're not talking to air traffic control and you're just kind of bebopping down through there. If you enter any restricted airspace, the fighters are going to come and get you, and they're going to escort you to a safe field. We do actually, provide training for those F-16, F-15 drivers to come along and quote unquote intercept a Civil Air Patrol Cessna and lead us away to an Army airfield, or the mission of the day may be that we just don't respond. We just keep on flying until we land of our own accord, and then they come in behind us and so on and so forth. But we did have a role in 9/11. We still have a role in 9/11. So good question.
If I remember right, there's a picture of a CAP airplane doing circles around Ground Zero.
You are correct in that. Yes, there is. It's a very famous lithograph that we were one of the only civilian agencies that were allowed to fly, in the hours and days, after 9/11.
Okay. Let's see. Legatus Legionii asks, does rank progression titles go along similar lines as the Air Force?
Cadet Macias, I'll let you go ahead and take this one.
Thank you, sir. We do. Our rank progression are modeled after the Air Forces. I know the student members are as well. Cadets actually start at Airman Basic and go to Airman, Airman First Class, etc. And the student members start at Lieutenant, I believe, sir. And so it is similar to the Air Force.
Good question. Now, we, earlier on I mentioned about CAP being formed just before the start of the U.S. involvement in World War II. What did CAP do during the war?
Cadet Macias, do you know?
Let's put me on the spot, sir. I do know that CAP was allowed to fly during World War II in support of the Air Force. I know it happened a few days before Pearl Harbor.
Yeah, we were formed 6 days before Pearl Harbor, and we were actually part of the Army Air Corps back then. They didn't even have the Air Force. And we did, fly off coastal bases, going out toward, towards the German U-boats and such. And I think we sank like 4 or 5 of the German U-boats. In fact, one of the German sub U-boat captains famously said, you have to excuse my French, but it was a direct quote. He said, we just it was something along the lines of, seeing those damn little yellow airplanes. They were going to ruin his day. So again, we did make an effort in World War II. And every war, since then, we may not have a major role, but we have a little bit of a role.
Okay. And let's see. Eric Farkas asks, what, in your opinion, is the best leadership activity statewide?
Cadet or senior? Excuse me.
Yeah, if you
Cadet,
could,
go for it.
Okay. The best leadership activity. I will have to say it's a tie between staffing an encampment or being on a SARX, so a search and rescue exercise. Simply because both require a lot of under pressure, learning how to manage leadership and responsibilities under pressure. I will have to say, I think leadership activity, my favorite was probably the SARX. I did do an exercise in Cranberry, West Virginia. We took turns being the ground team leader as just practicing being able to, call out to the people behind you, being able to brief and debrief, taking direction from senior members, giving senior members a briefing on what was going on, what we were doing. A little bit about that. I was not only the youngest cadet there, but I was also, there was only 2 females. I was the only female cadet, and there was a senior member who was a female also. So that definitely was a leadership experience in and of itself, because I had to be able to, step up and lead a group of 5 male cadets that were all about 1.5 feet taller than me. So that was definitely probably my favorite experience that I've had so far.
Okay. Good question. Great answer. All right. And Colonel Judy's benefactor here. Unfortunately, he got here late, so if the question was asked, but he's curious, how much flight time do each of you have?
Cadet Macias, how much time do you have flight time?
I have 5 hours of orientation and of a powered aircraft, and half an hour to an hour of a glider.
Okay. All right. I have 1,750 flight hours. And I fly anywhere between 200 and 225 flight hours every year just in Solar Patrol aircraft. My family also has, privately owned aircraft that I fly, and I fly about 250 flight hours every year, but the majority of those hours are in Solar Patrol aircraft, be it, training, or if we're on a real exercise, or, just shuttling airplanes to maintenance and back. So, again, really a great, great program. If you're looking to, build time to go to the airlines, or, get into a corporate, setting, Solar Patrol is the way to go.
Okay. I think we know this person. My favorite wrench and CAP member.
Yes,
Go ahead.
ma'am, I will. So, cadets, progress and rank. So when you first join the program, you start as an Airman Basic, which basically means once you have your uniform, you don't have any ranks on at all. You are just simply learning. You are learning everything, the groundwork, setting your foundation for the program. We do really, really encourage cadets to promote as much as possible. I mean, if any of my cadets were on, they can tell you I talked about promoting every single week. I always encourage them. I give them incentives to promote. So the way you promote, there are 4, technically 5 phases in the CAP cadet program. You have your learning phase, you have your leadership phase, and then you have your executive phase. So your learning phase is going to be your airman, airman first class, senior airman. I believe it's those 3 at first. I haven't been in that phase in almost 5 years, so forgive me if I'm missing something. So what we ask you to do to promote each time is you take a leadership test online through an amazing curriculum that CAP offers. It is literally called Learn to Lead, and it is a phenomenal curriculum. As a homeschooler, my parents actually used that as part of my schooling. I had to read my Learn to Lead book, and you have to take a leadership test. You have to take an aerospace test through, again, phenomenal curriculum that CAP gives you once you become a member. So those 2 were added to my schooling lists. After your aerospace test, you have to take a physical fitness test, which is another one of my favorite aspects of CAP. As I'm sure Colonel Feliciano will tell you, PT is my favorite night of the week. We have certain requirements for certain ages that you have to meet. You have to run a mile, do so many amount of push-ups, and so many amount of sit-ups. After your PT, we give you a drill test. So hopefully throughout this time before your promotion, we have been teaching you. I know in the Martinsburg Squadron, we separate the guests, the phase 1 cadets, and then our further phase cadets. And occasionally we'll mix them all in there just so they can be learning off of each other. So we'll give you the drill test. Depending on which rank, it's so many amount of drill maneuvers that you have to have memorized and basically perfected to be able to maneuver with and move up to a different flight. That's essentially what you're tested on for the first 2 phases. Once you get into the executive phase, you no longer have to do drill tests, but you still have to do leadership, aerospace, and PT tests. Once you start ranking up more, in the middle of phase 2, I want to say it's around senior master sergeant to chief master sergeant. Instead of those drill tests, we are given speeches. So we have to publicly speak at our meetings. We have to give presentations. I know for one promotion, I believe it was either my second lieutenant or my captain, I had to create a budget for an activity and budget an activity and present my budget. And the senior members critiqued it, fixed it, and so I learned how to create a budget for an activity, which was something I had never had to do before, which gave me a minor heart attack when I was assigned, but it turned out to be an amazing learning opportunity that I'm glad I had to do. So as far as ranking up, it is something that, if I'm being completely honest, it's very easy to get comfortable in the position that you're in. For example, once I hit Chief Master Sergeant, I was offered the position of First Sergeant, which isn't a rank, it's a staff assigned position. But you're only eligible to hold it during your sergeant ranks. And I got very comfortable there, and I kind of slowed down my progress of promoting. But, continuing promoting, continuing to get higher is definitely a huge motivation in and of itself. My staff is, solely phase 2 to phase 3. And I'm very proud of them for being at that rank. And the time that I served as cadet commander, I was always encouraging them to promote, always encouraging them to get ahead. I also know that as I was progressing through the program, number one way to motivate me is as an athlete, I'm very competitive. So I found a cadet who was my same rank, who I noticed was promoting, right on his time grade. And I said, he's not going to promote faster than me. So I stayed right with him, and we competed for about 3 years, I want to say, before he unfortunately had to move away. But, for any cadets out there, I do really recommend, find someone who's your same rank or that you want to catch up to and go get them.
I like that.
Well, I tell you what, Raymond, if I can break in here just 1 minute,
Sure.
I've actually got a question for Cadet Macias.
Go
So yeah.
ahead.
So all right. So it looks like you got some diamonds on your collar there. That must mean that you're a major. How many more ranks do you have, and is it going to be difficult to get those additional ranks, and how long do you think it'll take you?
Yes, sir. I am actually on step 2 of major, seeing that there's 3 phases. There's the promotion in of itself, and then 2 ghost phases before I hit lieutenant colonel. So technically, I have 4 more promotions before I hit my colonel. It is going to be very difficult because promoting faster was easier when you're like in middle school, but I am in 11th grade, and I don't attend a school. I attend I'm full-time community college. I'm pushing my credit limit of 19 credits this upcoming semester. I had 18 credits this last semester. So it's definitely something that I had to maneuver my schedule to promote. A few things that I have done is now that I stepped down from my leadership position, I'm kind of now acting as a mentor. So that admin aspect of leadership, I do no longer have to do, which I'm so grateful for. I will be mentoring the cadets that are in charge now if they need help. But, as far as that aspect, I'm not sending out emails. I'm not sending out, telling kids to hurry up and promote or anything like that. I'm just encouraging them from the mentoring aspect of it. The tests are getting harder. As I noticed once I hit like captain, there's 3 phases in captain to major. I'm on my 2nd phase in major. They're a lot harder than what they used to be. I can't just read it 5 minutes before and take the quiz. I have to, sit down, study it. I actually added it to my schedule now to study every single day so that as soon as I hit my test, I just take it. I am setting a goal for myself that I had since the summer where I will hit the spots award, the colonel, before I turn 17.
Wow.
That's what I want, and I know that since it's what I want, I'm gonna go get it.
Wow.
So yeah.
I like people that know what they want and work to get it. Let's see.
Thank you for the question, sir.
Yeah, there.
Oh, you're welcome. All right. Let's get some more questions in here.
Okay. And you did answer that question.
Yeah, I actually answered this one. If you get the Mitchell Award in Solar Patrol, any military branch that you go into, you'll get a 2 pay grade bump and 2 rank bump. Just starting out. So, yeah, great question.
Okay. This is a good one. What advice?
Wow.
Who's going to take that one?
Well,
who's going to take that one?
Let's have the parent and the cadet. So, cadet, why don't you go ahead and give some advice for the parents?
Ooh, I wish my parents were still here. They'd be able to answer this one better. But actually, over quarantine, to keep working on the CAP program, even though we were online, me and my staff actually met over Zoom and talked about this, because all of us had been in that position where our parents were like, "What's going on? What are we supposed to do? Why am I signing 1,000 pieces of paper?" So we met and we had this question. This was the agenda on the main agenda that we wanted solved before coming out of quarantine. So we created a presentation. My parents graciously, my mom graciously offered to give the presentation to our new parents, because once we got out of quarantine, we had like, I think it was around 8 new cadets that wanted to join. So we created this PowerPoint presentation. It was maybe about 15, 20 minutes max. And it went over everything, every single question that my mom had when I first joined. We put on that presentation and we answered in detail, as much detail. So new advice that I would give to CAP cadet parents is the paperwork is a lot right now. Figuring out online is a lot right now. Figuring out the different websites that we use, their uniform, different regulations. It is a lot and it's very overwhelming. And as cadets, we understand that as well. But stick through it, because this program is going to help your cadet so much. I mean, if my parents were still here, I would totally invite them into this. But ask the senior members at your cadet squadron, ask your cadet mentors, the officers there. They have been through the process. They can give you little hints, I did this instead of this. That's one thing that I love to tell my cadets, the new cadets, is if you have any questions at any time of the day or night, I will hold myself accountable just like my senior members do, where they will answer at any time of the day. It's the paperwork will stop for a few months until your cadet decides to go on activity, and then there's paperwork again. But you get used to it. You get on the roll. And a second thing is, how do I word this? I'm going to be very blunt right now. Don't baby your cadets. This program is meant to teach responsibility and leadership, and it's great that you want to be involved and help them. Absolutely. My parents, I'm a major. I'm 16 years old. My parents don't go to the meetings with me. I mean, they're very, very involved in CAP with me. They go to activities with me. They both became senior members so that they could, be with me in the activity and learn right along what I'm learning. But my parents do not tell me you need a test. My parents do not tell me what paperwork do you need. That is my responsibility. And I have learned through the program that my parents are not going to be after me 24/7. In the future, your employers are not going to be after you. Your college professors are not after you. If you forget it, that's on you. So, it teaches you responsibility. It teaches you leadership. So yes, step right alongside, walk with your cadet, but don't hold their hand and walk with them. You walk right next to them, and you allow the senior members and the cadet staff to walk alongside with them. But a lot of things, and I know some kids are going to hate me for saying this, but a lot of things kids have to learn on their own. I can't rely on my parents for everything, especially the career fields that I want to go into. People are looking for drivenness. They're looking for kids with responsibility. They're looking for kids that know what they want and are go-getters. So I definitely encourage you to, continue encouraging your cadet, continue walking alongside your cadet, be involved. CAP loves having parents that are involved because it means that more kids can be involved and more kids have permission to be involved. That's one thing I've heard from my CAP parents. When a cadet walks in, I introduce myself to the cadet and the parent, and I ask, are there any questions? I go up, the parents know who I am. They know my face. They know my staff. They know my staff's face. And that's because, obviously we are minors in the program, and parental involvement is huge. So if you get the parents on board, you get new senior members, and you get more permission for cadets to join and do more activities. So, definitely walk alongside them, help them, encourage them, but don't coddle them. Let them learn. Sometimes sometimes I've missed deadlines for registering for things because I didn't remember, I didn't write it down, I messed up on this paperwork, but I learned how to take responsibility for that. And it wasn't my parents that didn't remind me, it was, on me. So learning responsibility and respect is a huge, huge aspect of CAP. So those are two little advice pieces that I would give to parents.
Great answer. Great question. Colonel Judy, here's one for you.
Oh, do
The
we have
old-
police powers? Wow.
Even I know this one.
Yeah.
Being in the
great
ex-Air Force.
question. And the answer is no. We have absolutely no more power than a regular U.S. citizen. In fact, in some cases, we have less power than a regular U.S. citizen. It would take a long time to explain that, but we can't detain anybody. We can't read anybody their rights. We can't take anything into evidence. None of that kind of stuff. We can assist. And, we do assist, some law enforcement agencies with, mostly transport, mostly passive surveillance, taking pictures, that kind of thing. But as far as police powers, the answer is no. Great question.
Yes, very good question. And dovetail to that is...
Oh, there is a very fine line between the National Guard and Civil Air Patrol. It's if you want to do both at the same time, it's very difficult because of the regulations that the National Guard has and that Civil Air Patrol has. And if you are a cadet, such as Cadet Macias, she's 16 right now. She can join the National Guard next year, I believe, if she wanted to. And if that happened, she would actually have to resign out of Civil Air Patrol because they don't want any bad habits from CAP coming into the National Guard. So great question. Kind of difficult to answer at this point without being in the organization, understanding a little bit more about the organization. So good question.
Okay, I'm going to save this one for well, no, I'll just put it out there. Where have we seen Civil Air Patrol before? I know of one in the Captain America movie. You see a poster, but that's
American Made with Tom Cruise. That the Civil Air Patrol was also mentioned. That Tom Cruise's character was the top of his class in the Civil Air Patrol.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything? I'm not a big movie buff, so I'm going to rely on you guys.
Yeah, the only one I saw was the one with the with where you see the CAP poster at the end of the Captain America movie. But it's been mentioned like in Steve Canyon comics. So it's out there in pop culture. Let's see. Anybody else? Looking. I believe it. I believe it. Just from talking to her tonight, I definitely believe she'll be.
I think I have
Absolutely.
years more to learn, but
Definitely. Absolutely.
I'm not denying wanting it.
Hey, there is a beautiful 2010 Dodge minivan that goes along with the job. So,
Sir, with all due respect, watch out.
Let's see. Any other questions? While I'm looking, I'll say welcome to Pudgy Hedgehog. Let's see. That is a good question from Son of a Red Shirt.
wow, he's asking lots of good questions. I guess I'm going to owe him more than $50. So. Cadet Macias, I'll let you take first shot on this one.
Oh, okay. Sarah was gonna probably have a moment to think about this one, but okay. I'll take my orders. Achievements that your guests are most proud of. Honestly, I'm very proud of everything that I've done in CAP. I will have to say, I can think of 3. I'm not sure if we're only narrowing it down, but I'll be quick with my 3. Number 1, I am most proud of being, thought of being selected for all the positions that I have been. To be first sergeant, which was one of my first, big steps in leadership, I had to go before a board and actually compete for the spot with the other cadet that I was competing for and ranking up. I've had to, I was selected for deputy commander and I became really close to the cadet commander. And then after that, I was asked to be cadet commander. Unfortunately, the main duration of my leadership time was during COVID, but that, I wasn't gonna let that one take us down. So I learned a lot about how to, address different age groups online, in person. I did my best in how to engage. I'm not sure if you ask some of my kids, I'm not sure what they would say, but I really hope that they learned a lot, and that's probably one of my most proud things is being able to learn and being able to just interact and meet so many amazing senior members. And I've been all over the wing in different training activities and meet so many different cadets and get to be a part of their lives and be a part of their progression through the program. A second thing is I am, because it's one of my more recent qualifications, I am super, super proud of being a ground team member. I absolutely love that. I have always been an outdoors person and my whole family has. So being able to incorporate being outside and using survival skills and helping somebody, that was a package deal for me. I mean, I signed up and I coerced some of my friends to go and do it too. And so that's probably another thing that I'm really excited about. And on ground team, I'm actually a level 2 trainee, not a level 3. I just looked at like 2 hours ago and found out that some of my qualifications had actually gotten inputted and I was on a level 2 membership. So I'm really, really excited finishing that and becoming a ground team leader. And I had a third thing. I can't remember it anymore. So I guess it's just 2. But definitely there's all aspects of CAP, everything that I've been able to do, everyone that I've been able to meet. I'm proud of it all. Honestly, I can't really think of any downsides. I have, obviously there are some decisions, some leadership, some social things that I've think that there are a downside to, but the program in and of itself and what it has taught me and what I have learned and who I have met, I have no regrets whatsoever. I really don't see a downside. The only downside is if you're not motivated, you're gonna have a hard time going through it. But that's not the program. That's just kind of more of an individual thing. But honestly, I don't see any downsides.
All right, is it my turn now?
Yes, sir. You're getting
Okay.
put on the spot now.
All right. Well, yeah, again, couple things. Number one was conquering the G1000 system. It's pretty complex, and I only had maybe 400 or 500 flight hours at the time, and was very immature as a pilot. So conquering that. And now, knowing it, inside out, backwards and forwards, again, that was a, very, very momentous accomplishment in my personal career. And the second one, is being asked, by 2 different wing commanders now to be their vice. It was truly humbling when, the first one asked, and then the second one said, well, you've done such a good job. You can be my vice as well. And again, getting to lead a group of individuals that are so motivated and care so much about not only the community, the state, and the nation, but about these young people. It's an amazing experience that I hope doesn't come to an end anytime soon. Getting to use my knowledge that I've learned throughout these 29 years in Civil Air Patrol to help others with problems that I may have faced at one time or another is very, very rewarding. So and really I the only thing that I would say that would be a downside was that I didn't find out about the program sooner and be able to take advantage of more of the opportunities that cadets have now versus when I was a cadet, back before dirt was invented. They have a lot more opportunity, a lot more funding to go do these opportunities. And it's a great time to be a cadet. They do have week-long summer camps that cadets can go to, from anything from robotics to civil engineering to airplanes to honor guard to STEM to rockets and anything in between. So again, great question, son of a red shirt. And I hope you can find a Civil Air Patrol unit near you soon, because you are the kind of person we want.
And this isn't a question, but this sounds like someone wants to join the Major Macias's fan club. Pudgy Hedgehog.
Is this a question or is this a comment?
Just a comment.
Okay.
He wants his own little airplane. He wants to get a hedgehog-sized airplane.
I'm sure CAP in the future will come up with something like that. We're always coming up with new things.
Okay, let's see. What I'm not sure what he's asking on this one.
Yeah, I kind of saw this one come across the chat there, and I'm not sure exactly what you're asking. I know Civil Air Patrol. We've always been called the Civil Air Patrol. We've always been the Air Force official auxiliary. We've always done the same 3 basic missions. And really our seals and emblems have not changed that much throughout the years. We may do some special things like for the 70th anniversary or the 80th anniversary, but as far as our official seals and missions, they stay the same.
Okay. And I think he is trying to interview for a CAP membership.
I think he is. So, tell you what. Okay, direct order, Cadet Macias, answer the question.
Yes, sir. Well, to be completely honest, it wasn't as much as this is going to make me sound, whatever. It wasn't really getting into the air. It was, like I said earlier, at first I was just looking for something that I could use that NASA would look at me for. Now, though, that's not really my main goal. But once I joined, and I realized, I have a few family members who were in the military, and I had never thought of this for myself. I had been wondering, what am I going to do in the future? I want to make a difference. I want to help people. I want to bring the light of Christ into the world. But how can I do that? So CAP gave me this new avenue of everything. So as the colonel mentioned, you don't have to go into the military afterwards. It is not an obligation whatsoever. It is definitely something that I have thought about, and it's something that I'm looking into. But I think about a year into the program, I realized that I wanted to do this because I wanted to serve my country. I think a lot of citizens, adults, and kids take for granted the freedom that we live in. And I think I wanted to give back to a country that has given me my entire life. And I have my grandfather was in the Army, and he passed away before I was born. And my uncle was in the reserves in the Navy, and I wanted to, I've always looked up to them, and I wanted to serve, and I wanted to help people like they did. My parents are law enforcement as well, so giving back to the country has always been something on the top of my mind. And CAP gave me an avenue, and step by step, and the senior members were willing to meet with me, even when they didn't really know me, when I was still a prospective cadet, and they were willing to say, here are your goals, here's what we can help you with, here's what we're willing to do for you, are you motivated, and are you willing to go and get it? And I feel like that was the call that I got to answer.
Wow. Wow. Amazing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's great. And as for me, I kind of joined it to meet new people. Didn't truth be told, I didn't actually start flying in Civil Air Patrol until I was probably 10 years in. I was always a ground pounder. I've had my pilot's license for longer than that, but just wanted to explore other areas of the program. But now that I am kind of firmly engrossed in the air side of Civil Air Patrol and the operations that we do, thoroughly enjoy it. And just opportunities kept on being presented to me that I thought were interesting, that held my attention. And that's why I've stayed in for 29 years. I like to joke that I'm so old now that I can't afford to drop out. So great organization. So, and great question.
Good. Yes, these are great questions, guys. These are fantastic questions. John Rendo asks, is there a CAP historian, archivist, or museum?
Yes, and yes.
We're putting Sandra's been putting out the website so you could find out more about CAP. And let's see. I don't think we've
details, rich details.
Okay. Let's see.
All right, thanks, Owner Richard. I'll definitely do that.
Okay, and since we're getting close, this will be the last question, and then we'll wrap it up.
I'm going to call on you, Cadet Macias, so just go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So yes, we do have what we call our battle uniforms, which are personally my favorite, as I stated before. And we do have dress uniforms, which are called blues. We use those for our promotions, just like other military organizations have their fancy uniform and their daily uniform. The blues is the cadets do have I'm sorry, I'm blanking here. The cadets do have a formal uniform, as the senior members do as well. There's ribbons, there's insignias, there's shoulder plates for certain ranks, there's other things that you can add to them. We do have to take care of our uniforms, obviously, and One reason why I don't like the dress blues uniform is because we have to starch the collar and your neck is like stiff in one position and it's your whole body is stiff in one position for most of the ceremony. But yes, we do have both uniforms. We used to also have the darker non-digital uniforms, the BDUs, but those phased out in July. So now we're solely on ABUs.
Okay. That's, I think we'll wrap up the questions. Do you, either of you, want to do a quick wrap up on the CAP on the whole? Okay. I think we've, again, thank you two for showing up. And this was an amazing interview. You guys knocked it out of the park. I really appreciate it. I think the chat really enjoyed themselves. And congratulations on CAP. Hope they go for another 80 years or more. Now, before we go, I've got some show notes. I'd like to make an announcement. We are 25 subs as of today from 100 subscribers. Yay. When we get to 100 subscribers, I'm going to have a contest and we're going to have prizes. Once we get that milestone, I will give you more details. What's coming up on the next shows? December 8th will be Cobalt, the author of Pudgy Adventures. Anti-Derivative Jill and I we'll talk about Star Trek DS9 on the December 15th. On December 22nd, we're going to do a Just Cuz. That's where I just have a chill stream. We don't have any theme at all. We just have fun. And on the 29th, we'll have a New Year's Eve Just Cuz with Wendy Webb. So to all the chatters, Tyron Beard, Snorter Poopus, Son of a Red Shirt, do you get, we'll take this one because we'll take this one. Do you get discounts for Oshkosh?
No.
Okay. Legatus Legionii, Julio Macias, Sprint 1, Wendy Webb, Stuart Mitchell, John Rendell, everybody who's been in the chat. You've been amazing tonight. Great questions, great hospitality, and you were wonderful. Thank you again to Lieutenant Colonel Judy and Cadet Major Macias for coming on board with us and telling us all about CAP. I think people will really appreciate what you guys had to say. And if Sandra could put one more time the two websites where they could find CAP, I would appreciate it. And Dude Steven, welcome aboard. Thank you again. Thank you both for being here. And
Raymond, thanks for having us. Like I said, this being the 80th year of Civil Air Patrol, it's amazing organization. I have no doubt that we'll be here another 80 years from from now, talking about all the great things Civil Air Patrol is doing. I want to thank the audience. Wow, what awesome questions. And hopefully, we have inspired you to go seek out a Civil Air Patrol unit near you. Think about joining and come join our ranks, and pretty soon I can hand the keys over to that beautiful 2010 minivan I have to somebody else. So good night, everybody. Have a great evening. Thanks again, Raymond. Thank you so much for inviting us to come on.
Thank you.
It was a great show, and hopefully we can do it again.
I hope so too. You guys are great. Good night, Dude. Good night, Dude Steven. Good night, Sherry. Good night, everybody.